Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be how to stop procrastinating and how to get in the habit of studying a lot smarter. My first tip is to make a study plan. This can be done by using a planner, the calendar on your phone, your computer, a sheet of paper, really anything. It doesn't have to be anything complicated at all, and just make a timetable of your day. So saying that from 9 to 10 I will be studying or reading or eating breakfast, and you just schedule your entire day like that. This way you will always have a scheduled time for what you are going to do and when you are supposed to have breaks and when you are not. This have helped me tremendously for avoiding to procrastinate, and it also helps with just holding your own self-discipline by just writing it down on a sheet of paper. Now, how to implement this into real life in your study sessions is simply by using a timer. Using a timer, then you will actually kind of have a designated time to work other than what you have written down on a sheet of paper. So I found it very effective to use a timer while I'm studying so that I am less prone to procrastinate and I actually focus for that period of time. So in your daily study plan, you might have written down that I'm going to study math from 9 until 1, and that is the time you put off to studying that topic or subject, say it's revision. Well, that is not very specific, and that is a really long time. So how I divide that time is I do 1 hour intervals of studying, and then I do a 10 to 15 minute break in between. And here's where the timer comes in handy. Instead of writing a super detailed plan on a sheet of paper for the exact same thing you're supposed to do, I rather just write it down from this time to this time and then use a timer to split it up into manageable times to study. It is not good to sit for 3 hours straight and do schoolwork or anything really, because you won't really be productive and you will not concentrate for that long of time. So I do 60 minutes at a time, but you can also do 45 minutes. It really depends on how you work and what you like to do when you study. The important thing is that when you're taking your breaks, I do recommend leaving your study space, maybe get something to drink or get fresh air if you're at uni and you've been sitting in a library for a while, because that is a place of where you do work and where you are productive, and training yourself to have that attitude towards the library or your desk is how you kind of train yourself to avoid procrastinating. And you also have these set periods of times where you stay at this specific spot and you are focused. Another really great way to avoid procrastinating and also just have a smarter study habit is by working with other people. This can be by having online study sessions or also just filming a study with me, even though you have no intention of posting it. When you're alone, you're very much more easily distracted than when you're surrounded by other people who are also focusing. And so if you do have other people that you think you work well with and you actually stay concentrated in doing your task when you are working with those people, I would recommend joining a study group or studying at university, maybe during class time, whatever fits you. But if you don't have people that you enjoy studying with, I find it really helpful to maybe join an online studying community. They do have apps called Flipit and Forest where you can join other people's groups, and you have to basically stay off your phone for the designated amount of time. You can also use these apps by yourself as a timer as well. So I both study at university and at my desk at home, and both of these methods work really well for me. Basically, the thought is that you kind of have someone else to hold you accountable. Even if that is filming a study with me and no one else is going to watch it, you kind of feel like you have to do something because the camera is kind of watching you. So that is the thought behind that. So it's kind of forced productivity. I wouldn't really recommend all the time, but if you really have to study for something and you don't feel like you're motivated to do it, this is a really great way to kind of force yourself to be motivated and concentrate and just get things done. Lastly, I just want to emphasize that it's really important to take breaks. Do not have like 3, 4, 5 hour study sessions without going out for fresh air or doing something completely different. Then you are not productive at all, and it's not a smart way of studying. The entire point of studying smarter versus studying harder is that the goal is to do as much as you can in the smallest amount of time possible. Just because you study for 5 hours straight doesn't mean you're more effective, productive, or that you've gotten more things done than if you sat yourself down in a more focused state of mind, and then you could actually do that same amount of work in maybe an hour. Setting little time crunches for yourself and making a detailed schedule of your day is a really great way to start shifting the mindset of how many hours you study versus how much you actually get done. A to-do list is also really great for this, in addition to your study plan, where you can actually tick off each task when you've completed them. Then you can actually visually see your progress rather than having everything inside your head. The key to using a to-do list is to take a task and split it into smaller chunks, the same way as you do with the timer, that you split the timing of a task into smaller time intervals. I have one separate to-do list for each of my classes, and each thing to tick off can be a single math problem or a sub-problem of a bigger math problem. You can make the tasks as small as you want them to be, depending on how big they actually are. For instance, if I have an assignment due, let's just say math, because that's the easiest one to explain in a to-do list. In my weekly to-do list or my daily to-do list, I just write math assignment, and then I tick it off when I'm completed with the entire assignment. Then while I'm doing the assignment, I won't really see that I'm doing any progress because I can't tick it off my to-do list. Instead, what I do is that I split the assignment into every single problem that is in the assignment. So each problem is its own task. As I progress, I can tick off each problem. While sometimes in math the problems can get quite long and you can get stuck on a problem and it's actually really big and you've done part of it but you can't really tick it off because you haven't done the entire thing. So if that is the case, I sometimes also split a single problem into the sub-problems. So let's just say it's task 1 and it has A, B, C, D, E, F. I will just split it into problem 1A, 2F, and then for each sub-problem I do, I will tick it off. Just to give you an example of how you can work a to-do list, and this kind of just gives you that instant gratification that yes, I completed something. Splitting your tasks and splitting your time into smaller intervals is key to keep your focus and be as efficient, effective, and productive as possible. That was it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed these tips and that it might have helped you not procrastinate so much. Maybe you can try these out this week if you haven't done any of these already. If you have any additional tips, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!